the keeper of the seventh lamp. Long before the roads were named, there was said to be a house where 7 lamps burned every evening. No one remembered who built it. No one knew who owned it. Travelers simply called it the House of the Seventh Lamp. The strange thing was not that 7 lamps burned. It was that every traveler remembered only 6. They could describe their places perfectly. One beside the door, one in the eastern window, one hanging from an old cedar beam, 3 more within the house. But the 7th, no one could ever remember seeing. Yet every traveler insisted it existed. An old journal found many years later contained a single sentence. The 7th lamp cannot be found by looking for it. Scholars dismissed it. Poets admired it. Children wondered about it. One autumn evening, a young traveler finally reached the house. It stood exactly as the stories described. Old stone, weathered wood, vines climbing patiently across its walls. As dusk settled over the hills, 6 lamps slowly came alive. Their warm light reached across the porch. The traveler counted them twice. Only 6. An old keeper emerged carrying another lantern. "You are looking for the 7th. The traveler looked surprised. "Everyone says there are 7. "There are. I only see 6. The keeper nodded. "So does everyone." They sat together without speaking. The night grew deeper. Owls called somewhere beyond the trees. The wind moved through dry grass like whispered conversation. Finally, the traveler spoke. "Where is it?" The keeper looked toward the stars. "Tell me, what have you been chasing?" The question seemed unrelated. "My future. And after that? Peace. And after peace?" The traveler hesitated. "I don't know." The keeper smiled gently. "That is why you cannot see it." Silence returned. The traveler grew restless. He walked around the house, looked behind every tree, counted every window, measured every shadow. Still only 6 lamps. Hours passed. Near midnight he returned, exhausted. "I give up." The keeper looked at him kindly. "No. You finally stopped searching." The traveler frowned. "I don't understand." The old man lifted his lantern. "When your hands are always reaching, they cannot receive. When your eyes are always scanning, they cannot behold. When your heart is always pursuing the next thing, it cannot recognize what has quietly been standing beside it all along." The traveler lowered his eyes. For the first time that evening, he noticed the silence. Not the absence of sound. Something deeper. A silence that seemed alive. It did not demand attention. It simply waited. The keeper spoke again. "There are truths that never chase anyone. They wait. They have all the patience in eternity." The traveler closed his eyes. His breathing slowed. The questions inside him became fewer. The urgency that had followed him for years began to loosen its grip. Then something changed. He opened his eyes. Nothing in the house had moved. Nothing had appeared. Nothing had become brighter. Yet there it was. The 7th lamp. Its light was unlike the others. It cast almost no shadow. It did not compete with darkness. It seemed to understand it. The traveler whispered, "Why couldn't I see it before?" The keeper answered quietly, "Because the 7th lamp does not illuminate the road. It illuminates the traveler." The young man stood speechless. The old keeper continued, "Many people spend their lives asking heaven to reveal the next step. They rarely ask heaven to reveal the next layer of themselves. The first 6 lamps help you navigate the world. The 7th helps you survive your own heart." Before dawn, the traveler prepared to leave. He looked back toward the house one final time. Again, he counted only 6 lamps. He smiled. Then he understood. Some things are never given as proof, only as invitation. The oldest mysteries do not exist to satisfy curiosity. They exist to transform the one who encounters them. Perhaps that is why wisdom has always walked more slowly than knowledge. And perhaps the deepest light has never been the one that helps us see the world, but the one that finally allows us to see ourselves. If this message added illumination to your path, I encourage you to subscribe so you won't miss the next journey. Until then, Shalom.